So we have Suzanne Tucker with us today. This is so exciting. A few things before we get started. So don't forget the replay from yesterday. And if you watch it before tonight at midnight, you can watch for the instructions on how to be entered to that Air Fort giveaway. And then the winner will be awarded tomorrow. And then also, I have all of the summit prizes ready to go as well. And the final entry is that survey, which I will pop in the chat close to the end of Suzanne talking today. And then I'll also post it on the Facebook group later today as well. So Susan, if you don't mind, is it okay if I read your bio, or would you like to just tell everybody about yourself?
Oh, please do. Please, that would be great if you did.
Okay, awesome. So Suzanne Tucker, mom of 4, has been a physical therapist and parent educator for over 27 years. In 2016, Generation Mindful was founded based on a need she was seeing in her classes. Parents and educators were loving the science of positive discipline, but struggling to take the science of connection practically into everyday life, particularly when they were feeling stressed or children were acting out. Suzanne saw a need for tangible, evidence-based tools and toys that make connection a habit, and Generation Mindful was born. Generation Mindful is on a mission to raise an emotionally healthy world, creating educational tools and toys that nurture emotional intelligence via play and positive discipline. All right, so here is Suzanne. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, everybody. So today the topic is resilience. And I'm hoping I can interact with you that are here in the chat. I see a number of you here. So just to start out, because I want you to know that this is live, we're in a conversation, and that's what makes it fun to be here rather than just watching a video taped later, although this will be fun to watch later. But for you that are here, you keep it really fresh. So I want you to know I've got my chat open. And as I am talking, if you hear something that resonates with you or it really piques a question, I want you to just throw it in the chat there, and I'll do my best to watch those coming in. Christine, will I see those, or will you be able to transfer those over from Facebook, or are they here in Zoom? Those questions.
The questions.
If I get interacting.
We can, absolutely, we can transfer them here.
Okay.
So they can pop it in the chat, and they can also put it in the question and answer as well. And I can read those for you as well.
Okay, great. So hello, everybody. If you want to type in where you're from, I think it's fun for you guys to see each other and where you're from. So as Christine mentioned, my background is that I've been a physical therapist and a parent educator for a long time, 27 years. And I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 4. And my kids range, I have twin 10-year-olds, a 17-year-old, and a almost 20-year-old. So I am in the tween teen stage and have been through the newborn and the tots, so I can really speak to all these phases. And what we're going to talk about today, resilience, is universal. Even if you do not have children, you're looking at resilience within your own self. So it's why I love this topic. The other reason I love this topic, and I know most of you out there have tots, because that's sort of the theme, is because times have been so hard lately, so isolating. And the theme that we like to talk about at Generation Mindful is connection. And we've been feeling so disconnected. Now, anybody out there, raise your hand. I'm seeing Virginia, Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, lots of Pennsylvania again. Anybody out there feeling a little isolated? Like, this is hard, because guess what? Being a young family is already isolating enough. And then you add in something like what's going on right now, and it feels even harder. So I want to talk about resilience, and I want to do it in a guilt-free way. Do you hear me? No shoulding. Should, I said should. No shoulding on ourselves. Not allowed. Like, we allow all feelings. We love feelings, but the one we like to drag out on the mat and really look at is this thing called guilt. We got a lot of parent guilt running us. And that's what we're up for shifting in our generation, in the very way we raise our kids. Because the truth is, most of us were raised with a heavy dose of shame and do good, be good. If I do good, be good, then I am good. And if I do bad, well, there's only one thing left to be bad, right? It just makes sense. So if you're a kid, you kind of are a scientist and you figured this thing out. You say, I do good, I am good. Well, if I do bad, I am bad. And that actually is a big roadblock to resilience, right? This idea that we can't make mistakes and we need to be perfect. So today we are going to look at our own tendencies to feel guilty and to let our own inner shame run us. And I just think when we talk about resilience and we start talking about how we nurture it in our kids, we're really quick to judge ourselves. I do it myself. I look at the 5 things I wrote down, and even just preparing to talk with you, I started to beat myself up about all the things I'm not. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to breathe into that. And I want you to do the same right now. Okay? Because I will not lead a talk where we're beating ourselves up. That's not going to happen. So right now, I want us all to just take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and let go of any guilt that's already there, thinking, oh yeah, I'm not doing it right, or I'm not resilient enough, or my kids, I didn't help them be resilient enough. False. You are perfect, you are whole, and you are complete right now as you are here to be your best self. So I know you're a rock star. Wherever you are on this parenting continuum, we only have rock stars here because you're here. Okay, this is right. Christine, you feel me on that? Yeah, I've seen yes. All right, so starting from this place of celebration, when we are celebrating we're rock stars, then our brain is like, okay, give me the tools, give me the knowledge. But when we beat ourselves up, our brain is not in a place to learn. And that's the same science we want to remember when we're teaching the 2-year-old that's driving us up the wall, right? Because it's our tendency to focus on the negative and the things they're not doing. It's just how we're wired. So you're not broken if you find yourself harping on the very things that you don't want. It's a practice, and that is really all of Generation Mindful. I thought to myself when I was working with families, why are all of these great families feeling not enough? Why? Why am I feeling not enough? It's because we have the science. This generation has new science around parenting, resilience, growth mindset, restorative justice. We have all this data. Brain-based data. We have all the science, but we don't have the skills. So we've just been set up for this fall off the cliff thing, right? Right. So we need skills. We don't need more data. We live in the information age. It wants to just keep feeding us knowledge. And knowledge without habit or action is really quick to bring us down. So that's, again, why I'm setting you up right now before we get into the tips and the knowledge and the science. It matters the container we're putting it in. And I want you to know the container we're putting this in is you're enough, you have the ability to learn and grow, and that your power lives in your daily habits, in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And how quickly do we forget our thoughts and our words and our actions, right? We're all here thinking action, action, action only, right? My kids' behaviors, my actions. I actually look at that as like the last thing on the list. It starts with my thoughts. My thoughts turn into my words, and my words allow and inform my actions. All right. So, with that said, if I may, I'd love to begin with a simple definition for you. So what the heck is resilience? Like, what are we talking about anyway? How are we going to build this in our little people and ourselves? We don't even know, right? What are we talking about? So for me, it's the ability to adapt to misfortune or change. And you notice I said change. Think about your toddler. What is the last thing that happened to you where they brought out the dukes and they were resisting in you and fighting you? I would love to see in the chat room. What's the last thing that you can remember that brought out that little tot in your toddler that was resistive or overwhelmed or not happy? What was it? I'd love to see what those are. And I want you to know that a lot of times it's things like it's time to go to dinner. It's time to stop playing. It's time to put our shoes on. These aren't terrible things in and of themselves, but what are they? They're transitions. They are change. So isn't that wonderful to remember that, especially for our little people? Yeah, so I got changing out of PJs to go to daycare, toothbrushing, when we left his favorite stuffy at grandma's and he didn't have it at bedtime, diaper changing, stopping a child from running in the road. I don't want to eat, I'm not hungry, I want to go see my friend, asking 5,000 times. One more, didn't want to go the way we were heading on the bike ride. They want to go their way. Okay, so the cool thing about all of these headaches, right? We're looking at all the worst moments of our week, right? Shower time, eating, bath time, forgot the snuggly at grandma's, and we're going, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I drove away without the snuggly, and they're not going to sleep, and we're feeling this big. Well, I want to help you reframe. I'm looking at this long list of beautiful moments, and I'm calling them beautiful moments because this is where resilience is born. And we look at them and we feel bad, and our child is feeling bad. So that's called reframing, right? We're now looking at this list and we're saying, okay, diaper changing time, always a battle. We're going to take this on and it's going to be growth. And I'm going to let go. I'm going to take a deep breath, let go of the guilt I feel because I'm pinning my child down or I'm wanting to pin him down and change those diapers. And I'm letting go of the guilt and I'm allowing my emotion and I'm allowing their emotion. So we just hit step one of how do we help our child become more resilient? It begins with our emotions, okay? It does not mean they will not be sad. It does not mean that we will not at times want to abandon ship. And we do not at times feel like we're crazy or we're going crazy. Those will all still happen. But what will happen is you will notice this happening, and that's called awareness. So with the emotional growth, with social emotional skill building, we still have all the same emotions, but we just get quicker at noticing and naming them. So that's point number one. In nurturing resilience in your home, you want to be a home where it's safe to feel and that you are in the habit of naming feelings. And that, again, that's a large part of Generation Mindful. A lot of the tools we've made, they just start with that simple science. And I like to liken it to doing push-ups. If I do push-ups every day, I'm going to get bigger muscles. And the same goes with your child that practices naming emotions every day. They get bigger social emotional learning muscles. So when they do lose the stuffed animal at grandma's and they come home without it and they're crying and they're not met with dismiss, deny, undermine, invalidate, they're not met with that. They're met with, oh my goodness, you love your snuggly. I bet you're feeling so sad. You miss him. Come here. You don't try to dismiss it. You know what? We'll get it tomorrow. It's not that big a deal. You have this other snuggie, right, that we can love on. That's what we tend to do because we want to make it stop. But what we're going to do is allow for emotion. So I would love to hear from anybody out there. How does that land for you? This whole idea of it's not feeling, it's embracing the moment, all of these hard moments, every one of them is an opportunity to grow resilience. And it starts with simply naming the emotion. So any kind of feedback I could get on that, any questions, Okay, I got a yes from Christine. So yeah, and I think at what age? So at what age? I love that. I start working with emotions from birth. So there's evidence that shows, I mean, you guys know how brilliant these babies are, right? Their birth to 9 months, their language brain is exploding. And research shows that they are really cued into our face and our facial motions, and like surprise face, or like peekaboo is the #1 favorite game of babies, where they don't see us and then they see us and they see that joy on our face. Babies are really clued in to emotion. It's literally part of their survival mechanism, and probably why they're so darn cute is we are so engaged and enrolled by them, and we want to protect them. Like, all of our instincts want to love them and protect them. We're just wired for that. And they're wired to watch us and to feel safe. They want to look back and receive facial cues and affirmation that they are safe. Really, that's the whole first year. So if it's between 0 birth and 1, my main mantra for that is you are safe and you're an explorer, right? So as a mom or a dad, I want to try on my little baby. Their whole first year is about learning 2 things: that I'm safe, and what the heck is all this cool sensory stuff around me. That's their job. They're out there exploring. So that's year 1. And you can allow for emotions with a baby. Mostly the emotions we want to provide to the best of our ability is security and this kind of connection. Now, life isn't always that way. Disruptions happen, but we can be there to co-regulate. So let's say their favorite person in the world goes away, and all of a sudden, and they're 11 months old, and that favorite babysitter's not around, or daddy's on deployment, or mommy's deployed. So that's a challenge. And we talked about challenges are growing opportunities. So you're going to provide as much routine and security and predictability for that 11-month-old. This is the thing, guys. We don't write the play, right? We're in the play, but the life is happening, right? We're kind of co-creators. We're co-writing this thing. And so remember that things are going to happen. You're going to want to feel guilty about life, but I want you to take a deep breath and remember it's life. It's happening. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. Your child is with you and you are enough. And so, or whomever is there as the caregiver, if they can affirm that security, that's the #1 thing, and noticing the emotion, allowing for them. #2, biggest impact is embracing the mistakes, okay? So when there's curveballs, instead of being like, oh, I can't believe I left the car running, which would be me, and we're out of gas, because literally the car ran until it didn't have any gas. So I remember that happened to me years ago when my kids were little, and I came in and I was just like, I can't believe I just did that. And I wanted to beat myself up in front of my kids. And I thought, this is a learning moment. Just like they spill things, they break things. You ran the car till it ran out of gas, Suzanne. And I chose to laugh at it and laugh at myself and laugh with them and learn from it, right? And so to the best of our ability, again, we might actually come in and start beating ourselves up. If that happens, that's okay, because that's what is. We notice it, and then we say, you know what? I've just been beating myself up about making a mistake. And mistakes happen, and mistakes are how we learn and grow. So don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. That doesn't work either, right? Just remember the things, notice it, and name it. That is what's so cool about this work. I feel like up until literally this work, until Generation Mindful, so much is what's been given to us as parents, particularly positive parents, is perfect parents. And we read it and we go, well, wouldn't that be great? It would be all unicorns and rainbows if I could just do all these things I'm reading, because everybody loves positive. But the reality isn't always as perfect as what we read, right? And we have these intentions, but that's not what's going to happen all the time. So remember, #2, mistakes help us learn and grow. And that's actually one of our mantras. We have a deck of mantra cards in our Peacemakers, And that's one of my favorites. Mistakes help me learn and grow. Imagine if every 2-year-old on the planet was saying, mistakes help me learn and grow, or every 3-year-old. And guess what? Life's going to challenge that belief. But if you start modeling it and saying it and reading it and you have it on things around them, that's formative. That is formative stuff. 0 to 3. You get in there with those messages, sprinkle them in heavy. Even if it's just in the morning before your day unfolds, you're reading one mantra card a day. And they are using these in the schools. We are getting into pre-K to 2nd grade across, we're in 100 countries right now. So these tools are going in, and our goal, Generation Mindful, is to get them in the most needy schools, the schools that can't afford it, through a grant, okay? Because we all need these tools, whether we are affluent or not, we all have stress, and we all inherit limiting belief systems. That's part of our inheritance. We all have them. So why I like mantras, like mistakes help me learn and grow, is it's a good way for me to blow up the limiting belief systems. So thank you, Christine said, great for all schools. Kate said, I love that. And Anisha says, I've started allowing emotions and my daughter just seems lost and unresponsive to the fact that I'm allowing it. Surprise! I love it. And Anisha, if you're hearing me, how old is she? And awesome. Sometimes when you make a change, kids push back and it actually gets a little worse because there's like something's different here. So like if you've been doing time-ins, we introduced the time-outs. Generation Mindful has the time-ins, the time-in toolkit. When parents make that transition from time-outs to time-ins, especially if the child's as old as like 4 or up, sometimes the kid's like, what's going on here? And they don't actually trust it at first. And you know how we talked about safety being like the thing? So they've got to like test it out like a cat that kind of moves around a lot, and then they feel secure and then they sit down on it. That's kind of how your child's going to be. So for Anisha, her child is 2. So she might be recognizing some shifts and just too young to verbalize what's going on for her and how it feels different on her end, and maybe different in a really good way. And she just might not be old enough to be showing you with her words and actions, but I will tell you, you're doing a great thing by allowing those emotions, and you're doing it. And it's gonna come back. I always say, like, parenting is like a slot machine. You're putting in lots of quarters. It just feels like do all day long, this is happening. But what happens is that huge payoff, where all the coins come out, that's gonna happen. And that is life after those toddler years, of those formative years where you literally are wiring your child's brain for social emotional skills. These are the base skills that are happening. They don't start wiring in the prefrontal cortex till almost age 3, and this goes on till they're 26. And so you will be reaping the fruits of this. I have used these tools with all 4 of my kids in an increasing fashion. So I definitely started out with conscious parenting, positive parenting intentions with my first and second, but my second strong-willed child put my skills to the fire in a way that I wasn't ready for, and I had to kind of up my game, and that was helpful, and I was able to do that really about 5 years into motherhood. And then those skills I brought into raising my twins. So I want to say that I've been along this whole continuum of like newbie with the tools, best intentions, don't know what I'm doing, to all the way to where it feels more automatic. And it's okay. Wherever you are on that continuum, it's okay. So, and then Dana says, affirming emotions has been a total game changer for our 19-month-old boy. I've had to really work on the things I say, because it's so unnatural. And that's so true, because for all of us, we tend to do what was done for us and modeled. All right, awesome, guys. So you're still with me. We've done 2 of our tips. And Christine, how long, you can just type it in the chat, do you want the whole talk to go? I'm thinking it was 45 minutes, but it might have been shorter. So you let me know.
45 minutes sounds great to me.
Was it 30?
Yeah, but that's okay. Like you are spot on. Like people need to hear this. So you just keep on going.
Okay, keep on going. So number 3, this is going to shock you, but hold to your boundaries. for me, that's a big one. For building resilience, it's hold to your boundaries. Life tells you that love hath no boundaries. I call BS, belief system. I wasn't, I'm not saying those bad words that you thought I was. BS, belief system. Boundaries are love. Okay, that's the new motto. That's the one I want to catch fire. Boundaries are love, especially when we hold to our boundaries with a calmness and a clarity and a firmness. Kids want to know their limits. This is a whole huge section of our online course. This is a whole sixth of our positive parenting course is literally just boundaries, because I find this is the part that positive parents, us, very well-intentioned, we struggle with. We tend to borderline permissive more than punitive. We go over on this end. And I want you to know that neither end is really great for our kid. So I definitely was over on this end of the permissive end at the beginning. And I had to really grow into learning how to hold to my boundaries with confidence and calmly. What I would do would go 0 to 100 and lose it, right? Because I was going to be so calm and so positive that I let my boundary go. And that's what happened when you are constantly letting boundaries fly by. You get triggered and then you lose it, 0 to 100. If that feels like you, there's probably something around boundaries. And then in terms of emotions to maybe not model for your toddler, emotions that lead to them feeling unsafe are really best to protect kids from. So we don't watch a lot of scary movies. I'm not bringing them around a lot of people that are making them, that are they're feeling uncomfortable around. And if they are needing to be around those people, like they just don't like grandma, I'm gonna stay with them so they feel safe in that situation as much as possible. So yes, there are emotions. I would say here, there's 4 types of emotions. There's the red, yellow, blue, and green. So they're going to be best to see your sadness, your calm, your happy, high emotions. And then, yeah, you know what? At times you're feeling angry. That's a highly unpleasant and a high energy feeling. These are the ones that you would only sprinkle in as much as you can manage that, because those red emotions are really challenging. But I would not say that you protect your child from emotion across the board, because it is formative for them to see you managing your anger. So think back to me in my car when I ran out of gas. I was disappointed at myself, I was sad, and I was angry. And so I came in and I was able to reframe what I was feeling. And you can still name, I'm angry, I'm feeling disappointed, and I'm feeling sad. You can name them. But when I'm out of control and raging at myself, that can really be scary for a little guy. So I hope that helps. And thanks for asking about that. But do not feel like a child needs to only hang out with adults that are over here in the pleasant feelings. They actually do need a role model in seeing these other feelings modeled. Social skills, tip number 4. So the other part of social emotional learning, it's not just all about the emotions, but what do I do with them? And so the 4 parts of emotional intelligence are, well, how do I take care of myself? How do I take care of you? And what do I see about myself? And what do I see about you, right? So how do I take care of myself? And what do I notice about myself? So those are my feelings and my self-care. And then noticing your feelings, and then how I care for you, my social skills and the way that I treat you. So that's a big part of resilience, is your child is watching and learning from your relationships. Now, there is nothing to bring on guilt like that sentence right there, because we're all going, oh wow, they're watching all of this. They see all of my relationships. And I want you to know, yes, they are. And it's just good to know that they're learning more from our actions than our words. Just let that sink in as a reality and not as a guilt machine. It's just what is. And your power doesn't come in giving away your power to that fact. It comes in knowing it, naming it, allowing it to live for you, so that you can be aware of your words and your actions with other people. And understand that the way you are in relationship is powerful. So the way you talk about their teacher, if their teacher does something confusing, if you give that teacher grace and you say, well, you know what, that's confusing. I'm not really sure what she was thinking. I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her and talk with her so that I can help understand what was she thinking when she did or said that hard thing or that confusing thing. We're not dismissing and saying, oh, it's your teacher, it's fine, I'm sure she's fine. We're listening and we're gonna be curious. But we're also not saying, oh, and then throwing the teacher under the bus. And I think that's really, really important to realize in our adult relationships, that the things we do and say about each other, they are impactful on our children. And the last tip, number 5 for nurturing resilience is really one that we've covered quite a lot through the whole thing because it's really important. And that is just extra attention on helping kids feel safe. Okay, that idea of safety for me is so important. I wanted to give it its own number. So helping kids feel safe for me comes back to my routines and my rituals. Okay, it's not being perfect, but it's having some structure and order, some predictability or rhythm to the day or the week. And that's why literally every tool that we've created at Generation Mindful is meant to fall into your day in a very easy way to be played with on a predictable fashion. So like snuggle buddies, you get out your snuggle buddy and you name your emotions. This little guy, little lion here, he's got all of his emotions in his back pocket. Every day, if we practice saying, when did I feel happy? When did I feel sad? When did I feel calm? And when did I feel mad? I've just built that muscle, right? In a very predictable, regular way. So the idea there, you don't have to have a snuggle buddy to be predictable and regular about the social emotional learning that you're doing, or just life. So just remember that tip number 5 on nurturing resilience is that safe feeling. And one of the ways to bring that safe feeling is just being predictable. It could be when you open the shade every morning, you sing, let the sun shine in, or you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. We had funny things we said every time our child sneezed, and we had a little song we sang every time they came out of the bathtub. So they really looked forward more to bath time, even though there were those years where they didn't want to take a bath, because we had a fun, happy connection type ritual at the other end of the bathtub. So I hope that helps you with your everyday life. One of our prizes is a snuggle buddy. So I'm glad I pulled that out, and you get to pick which one you like. There is this adorable, this is one of my favorites, Dolphin is all about expression. All of the snuggle buddies have different themes. The lion's about being powerful and life balance. And another one of my favorites, the Sky Owl, is about intuition and helping kids clue into their intuition. So that is resilience in a nutshell. Being with those hard things, and also just being with what? Change, remember? So being with those hard things, being with change, and just a quick recap for you: embrace the emotions, embrace your mistakes, hold to your boundaries, practice those social skills, especially in the way that you're modeling them in your relationships, and help your child feel safe. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Suzanne. Hey, can you show us on the Snuggle Buddies, like they have those 4 different colors. Can you show us those?
Absolutely. All right. So we've got Dolphin here, and we've got our 4 feelings. So when you get your Snuggle Buddy, you're going to get this little guy. We call it our feeling journal, and it's going to teach you. It also has directions, but it's going to teach you and your child, even as age 2, the 4 mood groups. So the 4 mood groups are either high or low energy and pleasant or unpleasant feeling. Do you see the 4 quadrants? So they're either high energy, these 2, or low energy, pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. If you put those together, you get high energy, unpleasant, high energy, pleasant, lower energy, pleasant, and low energy, not pleasant. So all this is taught to you. For your kids, all they need to learn is happy, sad, calm, and mad. That's it. They get the colors, We have 2-year-olds coming over, and then once they know their colors and they know these faces, they get their little Snuggle Buddy out in the morning or at night or when something hard is happening, and they will grab on the one they're feeling. So we've had nonverbal autistic kiddos using these in a program where we're collaborating with 150, and they love them so much they actually have these at their desks all day long. They're in a little backpack on the back, and these kiddos are identifying, naming emotions through the day, through the school day, and they're simply using these. And now imagine being the teacher with a smaller group of, let's say, 10 kiddos, and through the day you're getting a vibe on how is Jimmy, how is Sally, based on if they're having a big feeling, they can just get this guy out and they're holding their sad. And you know, oh, wow, she's feeling sad over there. We know what's going on. But for them, it's just the practice of naming is building their emotional intelligence. So what I like to do, we have a little song. If you go on the website under how to use the tools, there's now a whole page called Snuggle Buddies. And it will have the song, when did I feel happy? This would be happy. When did I feel sad? When did I feel calm? When did I feel mad? Can you tell a story about a feeling that you had? What happens in your body when you're feeling? And then I like to leave it like that. And my kid will say, angry or silly or whatever feeling they want. And so that's often done in a morning meeting or at home in your bedrooms or at your kitchen tables or in the car. That's how you do it. And so it's so simple. The shapes help you remember the feeling. Happy face, so easy to remember, yellow, happy. Sad as a teardrop. And that's why even 2-year-olds are catching on. Calm is a heart, and that's green. And green is really a color for love in the chakra system. That's the heart chakra. And then red, angry. And this is my best attempt at a BAM symbol. So that's like BAM. And that's meant to be I'm scared or I'm mad. And that's it. Oh, Ashley said your song almost made me cry. I'm so glad because I can't sing.
Oh, that is not true, Suzanne. I'm a music teacher and that was pretty good.
Oh, you were? I did not know that about you. That's amazing. Oh, well, yeah. I'm very shy about singing in public, so.
Well, probably a good thing you didn't know I was a music teacher. You wouldn't have sung for us, and it was amazing.
I might not. Can I tell one more free resource to the?
Yeah.
We have our book, Heart's Treasure Hunt, for free on our website under free resources. I do a story time with this. So if you know that you need some sanity, like you need 24 good minutes to go pop on that little video and let your kid listen to me read this story. And I will teach them the 4 main mood groups and we'll have a lot of fun. And along the way, they'll get to meet all 7 of the animals. And when you get done, you can be like, who is your favorite animal? So if you win the contest, you'll know which one to get. So
that's awesome. One more thing. So, like I said, I am a teacher, an elementary music teacher, and I'm totally going to do this with my kids. And maybe even on the first, that first cycle with the kids, you know what I mean? Like, how great. I feel like every kindergarten classroom should have these, right?
Yes. Thank you for joining me. That's my mission. Honestly, I feel like, we have curriculum for the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. The thing we're missing are the social emotional learning curriculum, and it can be so fun and so simple.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I will put your free resources on our post in the Facebook group so everybody can have those. And I know everyone will be going to check out those Snuggle Buddies online as well, I'm sure. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you guys. You guys are rock stars. Celebrate yourselves. Okay?
Yay. All right. See you. Bye. Thank you.